good with y'all, man? Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. So I purposely haven't been uploading. I've been waiting for my new camera to get here, and it finally got here. I got it set up now. A few people have commented, you need a better quality camera. Now, I'm not one. I don't budge on people. However, in this situation, after looking at certain videos, I'm like, okay, it wouldn't hurt to upgrade my camera. So I did upgrade it, and I actually appreciate the people that commented that, because I'm the type of person to where I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, my last camera worked perfectly fine, but in this situation, I do agree. I think the video quality should be better, and hopefully it is better. Now, we got some stuff to talk about. So, I was sent this. More James Gunn stuff from the past. So, apparently James Gunn said this. Keaton did have a ridiculous voice. That said, I'd rather put up a ridiculous voice than with horrible action sequences and acting barely worthy of a Batman TV show. I have no idea how you can think that Burton Batman has more similarities with Moore or Miller's Batman and Joker than Nolan's does. And listen, I have problems with both of Nolan's films. I don't think either one is a classic. And I don't even really think Batman Begins is good. But they're far superior to the first Batman. None of your defenses get by the fact that despite being the first cinematic dark take on Batman, so what? Stallone's Judge Dredd was the first dark take on Judge Dredd. The movie is awful. Oh yeah. And Jack Nicholson as the Joker is Jack Nicholson in The Shining with clown makeup. F you and everyone involved with that travesty. Oh, brother. So, I went to Google just to make sure, James Gunn said this. And Google did confirm. Yes, James Gunn criticized Christopher Nolan's Batman, first two Batman films, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight in 2012 on Facebook, calling them not classic and stating he had problems with both. Though the critiques resurfaced and his views have been inconsistent, with a more recent 2023 interview noting The Dark Knight as his favorite Batman movie. And we all know why he's changing his mind, because now he's the head of DC and he doesn't want to make anybody mad. We know. Past criticisms. In 2012 Facebook post, James Gunn expressed his critical opinion of Nolan's first two Batman films, not classic films. He stated he had problems with both films and didn't consider them to be classic. Batman Begins criticized. Gunn also specifically called Batman Begins awful. That is so crazy, because Batman Begins is an amazing movie. That just goes to show you what we're dealing with here. These comments resurfaced years later, highlighting his critical stance on Nolan's films. So, I also asked Google if he said this about Tim Burton's films, and this is what it said. Yes, James Gunn has heavily criticized Tim Burton's Batman 1989, calling it awful, poorly written, and a betrayal of Batman's origin, because it reveals the Joker killed Bruce Wayne's parents. He has also described the film as boring, campy, and possessing a terrible soundtrack. This is coming from the same guy that turned Superman's parents evil and wanted Superman to spread his seed, get money, and pose. And not to mention, the soundtrack in Superman was horrible. Besides the original Superman theme, like the fight scene with Mr. Terrific in the desert, what was that, man? Horrible. Gunn believes the reveal that the Joker killed Bruce Wayne's parents undermines Batman's origin story and his core motivation for vengeance. Poor writing and campiness. He called the film, if this ain't the kettle calling the pot, I can't even, whatever that thing is. My mind's so scrambled trying to deal with this nonsense. He called the film badly written and campy, stating that the film was trying to hide its campiness but failed. Boring and awful. Gunn has described the film as one of the most boring ever made and simply awful. Soundtrack. He has also stated that the film has the worst soundtrack. Jack Nicholson's Joker. Gunn has criticized Nicholson's portrayal, comparing it to The Shining with the clown makeup. Now, the only thing I will say on that is, I've never seen The Shining, so I won't say anything about that because I have no idea. Now, oh boy, to this man. This guy has a problem with Nolan's Batmans. And Nolan's Batmans are well received by everyone. This is why I am worried about Batman and James Gunn. Actually, I'm not even really worried no more because I just don't even care about DC. I just don't. But this is why DC is just not. It's not gonna flourish moving forward. This guy has a problem with Christopher Nolan's films and Tim Burton's. And Christopher Nolan's films and Tim Burton's films were better than his Superman that he came out with. I'm not going to compare it to Guardians or anything like that. I'm comparing DC to DC. If you was to rank James Gunn's Superman with Nolan's and Tim Burton's movies, I guarantee Superman's going to come in last. This guy has the audacity to say that it had a terrible soundtrack. Dude, the Superman movie the soundtrack was horrible besides the original theme. There were so many scenes in that movie when fights are going on and just other things, and you got music playing. It just didn't match the scene. It's just, it's just so crazy, seeing these things resurface of what James Gunn said in the past. And look, they said in 2023 he changed his mind, he gave a different opinion for The Dark Knight. But this dude said that Batman Begins is a horrible movie, bro. I don't think anybody thinks Batman Begins is a horror movie besides James Gunn. Batman Begins is a great movie. It didn't do well at the box office, and we know why. And that's because it was the first movie to ever take a real different take on Batman that we've never seen before. It was dark. It was gritty. But guess what? Christopher Nolan's films are like Zack Snyder's films. The older they get, the better they get. It's just like wine, man. Wine gets finer throughout time. And that's the same thing happening with Nolan's films and Zack Snyder's films. James Gunn films, on the other hand, this Superman film, it ain't getting finer. It's rotten. It was rotten already. But now it's getting even more rotten. It's a very forgettable movie. I just think this is... I said it in a video before, man. I feel like this gotta be a joke, man. People have been saying that, James Gunn came from DC or Marvel, to crash DC. Listen, I didn't believe that to be true. However, if some people were to talk about it now, I'd be like, okay, you may have a fair point with everything going on, with everything that's happened. Because, like I said, man, at this point, I feel like we are being trolled. The article we did a couple days ago, I feel like we're just being trolled, man. Because it's just no way. The things going on with Peacemaker, the things that happened in Superman. Peacemaker is a direct sequel to Superman, what James Gunn said. I just feel like we're being trolled. Now, and like I said, man, this guy said that Batman Begins is a horrible film. He changed his mind in 2023 and said The Dark Knight is his favorite Batman movie. But he is the head of DC Studios, so I think he would probably change his mind because, well, you can't hate on Nolan because everyone loves Nolan. Nolan is a GOAT. But you're going to hate on The Dark Knight, or you're going to, just magically change your mind about The Dark Knight. And now, it is fair. Sometimes when you rewatch movies, you start to like them a little bit more. It's happened with me. I've done it. Where I watched a movie, I was like, it was in. But then I watched it again. And then I watched it again, and I'm like, okay. For a perfect example, Age of Ultron. When that movie came out, I was just like, But then when I watched it a few more times, like later on, and I was like, this movie is actually better than I thought it was. So is it possible James Gunn The Dark Knight could be his favorite Batman movie? Sure. Is it possible that he's just saying that because now he is the head of DC Studios? Sure. It's a lot of things to take in here right now. But you know, like this thing says at the top, man. Just a reminder: this is James Gunn, the so-called head of DC now. He didn't like Batman Begins, which is crazy. Which is crazy, man. All of Nolan films have been good. You know, even The Dark Knight Rises, which got a lot of criticism, but I feel like I always like The Dark Knight Rises. But as I said before, the more time goes on, the more people are appreciating all of his movies. And then Tim Burton's too, bro. Tim Burton's movies is better than James Gunn, so I don't know what he's talking about. I just don't, man. And I'm comparing James Gunn's Superman. Yeah, I mean, I could compare Peacemaker too, but I ain't really seen Peacemaker besides two episodes. I think one episode. I don't even remember. But I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I think this is just, you know, this is just icing on the cake at this point. We know what's happening. We know moving forward. We just know this isn't gonna flourish as a brand. So hopefully it gets sold to Netflix or somebody, man. Well, I mean, these are old Facebook posts, but we had to talk about this since I was sent this, and you know, I had to confirm with Google, and Google did confirm that James Gunn did say these things. So I don't know, man. You put James Gunn, Christopher Nolan, and Tim Burton in a room, and you have them compare and rank their movies. One thing I'll tell you, James Gunn will come in last. Christopher Nolan might come in first. I don't know. Tim Burton might come in first. The only thing I do know is James Gunn would come in third. That's all I know. So, and this is also the same guy that loves George Clooney's Batman. And I'm pretty sure he came out and said that George Clooney was his favorite Batman. Let that sink in. The bat nipples. The bat nipples of all Batmans. So, you know, you just gotta take it for what it is, man. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But I am pretty sure he came out and said George Clooney was his favorite Batman, and that is why we got George Clooney at the end of The Flash instead of Ben Affleck's Batman. So, y'all let me know what y'all think, man, and I will catch you guys in the next one, man. 100,000 subscribers is grind time. Let's go.